everyone, so today's video is on gerbil breeding frequently asked questions. I wanted to do a video like this for people who are first time gerbil breeders because I would have found a video like this really helpful when I was expecting my first litter, which was just last month. Before I start, I'll just give you a quick update on the babies. Harry and Woody, who are the mum and dad, had 6 babies, if you don't know already. I was able to sex them at 9 to 10 days old. I had a look and double check like each day because I wasn't quite sure on the first day. And they have had 4 boys and 2 girls. So the plan is for me to keep 2 of each sex, and then that's going to mean that 2 boys are going to be rehomed. So that's just a quick update. All the other gerbils are fine, these 4 are fine. And I'm also going to do another video later on today of some of the new things that I've bought for them. There's only a few things, and just like more of an update separate to this video. So I've got some questions on my phone. These are just some common questions that I've got off the internet from people that have asked them in the past, like on Yahoo Answers. These are some of them off here, and I know that other people have answered these questions in the past, but I just wanted to do it from my experience, so just to show you like the things I've learned from actually breeding gerbils myself. But that's not to say that what I think is correct or what anyone else thinks is not right, because I think everyone does things in their own way, like with animal care and pet care, and that's fine. And I'm not saying at all like that you necessarily have to follow what I say, but I just wanted to share just a little bit of my knowledge that I have gained, especially in the past month, just from breeding gerbils. So I'm going to start off with when can a female breed? From doing reading, from what I've read, the youngest that a female gerbil can breed is 7 weeks old. 7 weeks old is the youngest age that a gerbil, male or female, can breed, and that is the youngest recorded age. So I think what you need to be aware of is when you're buying a younger gerbil, it doesn't necessarily mean that she can't get pregnant and start having babies, because obviously she can. And 7 weeks is like the youngest that you'll normally find them from the pet shop anyway. So you just have to be aware that it won't be okay to put her with a male gerbil and expect them to not have young. And the second question, how do I know when a female is pregnant? There are small signs, but to a lot of people, it's not going to be that obvious that they look any different. If you have seen your gerbils mating and you're looking for the signs, then you probably will pick up on some. This was what happened to me. If you have seen them mating and it's the first time that you've seen them mating and you've been watching them, then you should be able to work out when she will be having her babies, which is what I did. How do you know when she's pregnant? There's going to be some changes in the way that she looks and the way that she acts as well, but most of these changes aren't going to become visible until the last few days just before she gives birth. So some of these are going to be that she's going to get bigger, obviously. Sometimes I have heard of gerbils not getting that big but then having like massive litters, and sometimes it's the other way around. They go massive and then they only have like a really small litter. With Harry, she went really big towards the end, and she had 6, so that's like sort of an average number for them to have. And she only went really big the last few days, but she did get big quite. She started to get bigger like slowly, so I could notice it. Another sign is that they can be really skittish and really jumpy, and that happened to Harry. It can even happen to like the most tame hamsters. Like I wouldn't the most tame gerbils, like I wouldn't say that Harry was the most tame, because I'm working with her, but I've only actually had her for like just over 6 months now, so I'm still working with her. And from my past gerbils, I don't normally get them really hand tame until they're at least like I've at least had them for like a year. I don't really know why that is, but because I do try and hold them every day. But that's what's happened with my last pair anyway. Yeah, you're going to see these changes. You're also going to see that they're eating a lot more, and they need a lot more protein in their diet, so like a lot of nuts. Mealworms are really good. Harry eats about 20. She eats loads when she's pregnant. They also just will eat their food a lot quicker. You can also put porridge oats, which I'll just show you what they look like if you don't know. Just normal plain porridge oats. I got these ones, don't know if you can see. They're really good to just sprinkle over the food, because they're really healthy for them. You don't want anything added in them. And they'll just eat like a lot of, you can feed them a lot more treats, and because they need that to start producing like the milk and everything to feed their babies. So I think that's that question covered. The next question is, how many litters can a female have in her lifetime? Or I remember reading this and I can't remember, but it is a lot. If you think about it, they're supposed to have, they are capable of having a litter pretty much around every month, 1 month to 2 months, depending on whether like they're weaning their last litter. So if you think of that in like the space of a year, and they can have up to, what is like the highest? I think the highest was like 11 babies, but they're more likely to have like 6 to 8, I guess. If you add that up, like do the maths, I'm not very good, so if you were to add that up, that's an awful lot of babies. So I just want to say to you as well, when you are thinking about breeding, you want to think like, why are you doing it? Like if you're just doing it for the money of the pups are going to get you, like you shouldn't be doing it. They're not going to make you that much money anyway. You should be doing it because you care about the gerbils, and like you want to take care of these baby gerbils, not just because you're going to sell them all. And you want to think about how many litters you're going to allow her to have. With Harry, I'm only going to allow her to have 2 litters. So after this one that she's expecting, I'm going to separate them and put them with each of their babies. So I'm not going to allow her to have any more litters. I just don't think that it would be fair on her, and it wouldn't be fair on the babies, because I can't afford, and I don't have the space to house like more than like the amount that I have already. I can't afford to have like so many, so I'd just be doing it for the sake of it really, and then it would be really upsetting for me to have to like give so many babies away. and keep on doing it, and it'd also like be so mean on her to have to keep having like baby taken away from her all the time, and I just don't think it's very good for them to keep on having like loads and loads of litters. It can't be good. So I would say around 2 litters, 3 if maybe you have to, if maybe you want to keep that many, if you've got the space to do so. But you need to think about, if you want to be a proper breeder, you want to get into it, you need to think about like retiring some off, because you don't want to overbreed one female, because that's just really unhealthy and it's awful. Where are some good places to get female gerbils? You can get them from any pet store. You can also get them from breeders. I recommend, if you are going to breed and you've got like a breeding plan and everything, I would go for a female gerbil and obviously a male from an already established breeder, because then you'll know what their genetics are and you'll be able to see like that they haven't been inbred themselves. Unfortunately, I didn't get mine from a breeder. Woody was from Pets at Home, and Harry, she was adopted from Gumtree, but she was originally probably from Pets at Home, because that's only like the really big pet store around in the UK. So I'm guessing she was probably originally from Pets at Home, and you never know where they come from Pets at Home, but it's been fine. To be honest, I wouldn't recommend it if you're actually going down the route of breeding purposely. I also found out from speaking to some people in Pets at Home that they get male gerbils in more often, I think, or maybe it was just that store that I went into. But yeah, so just be on the lookout for female gerbils, and also if you want to introduce her to a male, obviously for mating, you want to make sure that you get them both quite young, 7 to 10 weeks old. You can introduce them, but you need to think about when they finish mating, you separate them. Are they going to be left on their own, or are you going to leave them with one of their babies? Because you need to think about that it's not very good to just buy a gerbil and keep it living on its own. It's really cruel, because they do need to be in pairs. So you need to have a plan set out before you want to start breeding, and just know what you want to do. And also, if you're going to get a female, you're obviously going to get a female if you're going to breed. You don't want to get her any older than 1.5 to 2 years, because that's going to be quite dangerous, because the older the gerbil is, the smaller her litter is likely to be, and there's chances of complications. So I've read quite a lot of like shocking stories of what has happened when they've bred like older gerbils, so just be aware of that. And the next question is it hard to raise baby gerbils? I would say yes and no. First of all, yes, it is hard, because you have to have a lot of time, and you have to be there for them, and you have to do your research, and you have to have a plan, and you have to be aware of how to take care of them and be prepared in case there are complications. You also have to make sure you take really good care of all of them. You have to have enough room in your cage or your tank to house them all. So it is hard in some ways. In other ways, like it's pretty easy. Like, I wouldn't say you have to be an expert pet owner, and that you have to know everything that is ever to know about gerbils, because I'm still learning new things. I read up on the internet all the time, and I read from like other breeders' experiences. Like, a lot of them do document it on websites, so I read a lot of their stuff, because with a lot of pet care there are a lot of like rumours out there about things that are good and bad, and there's like a really nasty rumour that gerbils will eat their babies, and then when you go and read somewhere else, people say no, they don't eat their babies. A lot of people believe different things. In my case, it obviously didn't happen. I was a bit worried about it until I read up from what other breeders had said about it, and they basically said it's really unlikely. Basically the only time that they will eat their babies is if there is no source of water. Then they will sacrifice one of the babies so they can still get enough hydration. They'll eat the babies, get enough hydration to be able to produce the milk to still feed the rest of the litter. So that's basically, she would just kill one to be able to, for the others to be able to survive. That's just like natural animal instinct. So I thought that sounds like more realistic. And also she would eat them if she had a really big scare, a really big shock, like really loud noises. So you just have to be careful that none of that would occur. Or like if you handled them a lot. So I waited till they were about a week old until I handled them, and I also made sure that I had like really clean hands, so there was no strange like foreign scents on them, because that's a really important reason. So I can understand in some ways, but I don't think she'd just eat them for no reason. And also leaving the dad in. A lot of people have asked me about this, like why did I leave the dad in? I think it's important if you want to get a second litter to not take the dad out while the babies are young and then reintroduce him, because that's going to just cause too many complications. So you want to keep him in there, and I've just been amazed at like what a good dad he's been. It's been so cute. He's looked after them so well. He's in the nest more than Harry is. So he's been absolutely brilliant with them. Really, like, all my family think it's really sweet. We've all been watching the things that he's done. So he's in the nest with them, like grooming them all the time. He even brings like little bits of food down to the nest for the babies to eat. They have started eating now, and they were 3 weeks old yesterday. So yeah, I think it's fine to leave the dad in. For the next litter, which is due, what's the date? It's the 11th today, and they're due on the 16th. So in 4 days' time, on the 15th, they're due from the 16th, so it could be a few more days. So a day before that is when this litter will turn 4 weeks old, and by that time they should be completely weaned from their mum's milk. But at the moment they are still drinking from her, but they're also eating some solid foods. So I'm going to remove all of the babies apart from the two females. That's all there is. So I'm going to take the 4 boys out and the dad out, and the dad's going to go in the other gerbillarium that's exactly the same to the one that I've got for breeding. So he's going to go in there, and he's going to go in with all the 4 boys, and then they're going to stay with him until they're 6 to 7 weeks old, and then 2 of the boys are going to be sold. So I'm going to be putting them up on Gumtree, Pre-Loved, and also advertising on here for those two to go up for adoption. I've got like a ginger coloured one and a brown coloured one. And those are both duplicate colours in the litter anyway, but they're both boys. So I'll be keeping 2 other boys and 2 girls. So those 2 boys are going to be going when they're 6 or 7 weeks old, so I'm going to put them up for sale. It's going to be 2 for £10, just 1 pair this time. I've recently spent quite a bit of money on getting proper like boxes for them to sell them in. So they're just like the Pets at Home cardboard boxes with the air holes in, but I did go into Pets at Home and ask, but unfortunately they don't sell you them and they wouldn't give me any of them. But I actually think that it's better that I've got plain ones, so that I can put my own like logo and stuff on them, and I want to put like a link to my YouTube on there. So I'm thinking of doing that. So I've bought 5 of these smaller boxes off eBay. They were more than I wanted to pay really, but I couldn't find anywhere else to get them. And then I've got slightly bigger boxes to put those inside, and on that I'm going to put like a logo sticker, which I am in the process of making at the moment. And I'm also going to put a care package, just to say, with my contact details on in case of an emergency or any questions, and some things about like the diet and like how they should live and stuff. So these two are going to be going in just a few weeks. So if anyone is interested and lives around the northwest, I live in Manchester, or just outside Manchester. So if anyone around there is interested in adopting 2 6 or 7 week old baby Gerbils, or you know anyone that is, then just get in touch with me through my YouTube. And you can ask me some questions about them, and it's fine for people to come and see them as well. So that was all the questions that I found for the breeding. I just wanted to show you as well is this notebook. How cool is this? This is my Gerbil Breeding diary that I've kept, and this is where I started this diary like before the babies arrived, so like during Harry's pregnancy. So this is what I'd recommend, is to get a book like this. You can keep track of how the babies are growing up, the things that they're doing, because it does, I can't believe like they've grown up so quickly, but they have. I remember when they were really helpless just 3 weeks ago, and now they're on the wheel and everything. They're so cheeky. They do such cute things. So I've got like Harry's pregnancy due date, which was Tuesday the 14th, and she actually had them on the night of the 16th, which is my birthday. And it's the really weird coincidence is that I was born on the 16th of February, but I was actually, my mum was actually given the due date of the 14th, and I came 2 days later as well, which is really weird. It's really strange. I didn't even like realise that until she was until I worked out when she would be due. And so I put like the parents and their ages, and then I've basically added in Harry's next due date. It's from the 16th of March onwards, because she just delay it slightly. And then I started on Thursday the 9th of February, and I've put things like can feel the babies in her belly, noticeably fatter, eating a lot more. I've put things that I've fed her, very skittish and jumpy. And then so I've done that basically for every day. On Harry's due date I've put very lethargic, sleeping a lot, a Woody staying away from the nest. It could be today. Harry got stuck on her back in the nest because she's getting too fat, things like that. And then on the day that they came, gave birth to 6 babies during the night, all look healthy and similar size, squeaking loudly. Both mum and dad are looking after babies great, mum feeding babies all by herself, dad keeping them warm and grooming them. So then basically, if you can see after that, I've put the date on each day, and I've also put how old they are. So 1 day old basically goes 2 days old, 3 days old. And then I've done it all the way up to oh, I didn't do it yesterday. What did I? Yeah, did it all the way up to yesterday, and I just write in it every night. And I've been able to write when the babies have been opening their eyes and stuff, so that's like a really good thing to have. And I think that is the end of this video, so I'm going to go make another video now, which is going to be up on my YouTube very soon. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any more questions about gerbil breeding, then just feel free to put them at the bottom in the comments tab. And also, if you've got any requests for videos, I know I'm sorry I've not got around to cleaning these out yet on the video, but they're due for a clean in about a week, so I'm definitely going to get that done. And I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!